This is a bit of a unique show in general because I am back in Washington, D.C. today, and the plan is for me to testify. I've been invited to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee about censorship and the power of big tech and cancel culture all rolling together. As the owner of a media company, what have I seen in that respect? And I'll give you a little bit of a preview of what I'm going to say because it directly correlates with this radio program. So longtime listeners here know, not that long time, back in August, we had the President of the United States on this program. Big deal, no matter who you are in the world of media. If the President of the United States is coming on as one of your guests, that's kind of a big deal. And so President comes on the show. That was, I believe, August the 11th. He came on twice, and then we went up to the White House to interview him as well. We've obviously had a lot of big-name guests, but that's the one that had me the most nervous because the night before you're going to have the President of the United States on, it's really kind of a wild moment. But it was interesting for running a media company. The day after we had the President of the United States on this show, and remember, the President came on and talked about the importance of playing the college football season. That was the primary reason he wanted to come on. And he helped, along with other people inside the White House, to ensure that we had a college football season. Most of our conversation was focused on the world of sports, although it obviously expanded beyond there. But the president talked about college football. He talked about the NFL. He talked about the NBA. A lot of different sports-centric stories. And obviously, we wrote about that guest segment on Outkick, the media company that I own and that many of you who listen to this program check out somewhat regularly, Outkick.com. This is where things become, I think, wild. The day after we put the President of the United States on this radio show, and I haven't shared this publicly before now, but this is what I am testifying about in front of the House Judiciary Committee, our traffic from Facebook that next day into the next week suddenly dropped by 68% in terms of users and by 76% in terms of new users. Nothing else changed about what we did at Outkick. Our content didn't change. Our stories didn't change. Everything else remained the same, except we wrote headlines about Donald Trump coming on Outkick, and immediately Facebook pulled the rug out from underneath our traffic. All of our tech team, they went and looked. They said, what have we done differently? Is there anything different that's occurring? They looked at those articles and said, hey, are they unpopular? The result was no, they weren't unpopular in the larger universe. People were clicking on them at insane rates. But Facebook decided to basically destroy our traffic the day after I had the President of the United States on this radio program. And look, I don't think the people at Facebook are bad human beings. I think that this is an example of cancel culture writ large that I myself see. And Facebook was saying, hey, if you're going to have the President of the United States on and you are going to write favorably about what he says on your radio program, we're going to punish you. That cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars as a company because we sell advertising based on the number of people who come to our website, and there was Facebook just pulling the rug right out from underneath our traffic, out from underneath our feet over the traffic when we had the President of the United States on. So I am telling that story today, later, scheduled at 10 a.m. Eastern, in front of the House Judiciary Committee as a part and parcel of a hearing that they are having about the power that big tech companies have in this country. Now, some people out there, inside of even my own company, have said, hey, you got to be careful sharing this information because it's going to make you even more of a marked man in the world of tech, right? Facebook's not going to be happy. Other big tech companies are not going to be happy with you for the testimony that you're about to give. And I said, you know what? That's life. The reason why we have the audience that we do is because I come sit down and put on my headset and do this show every single day as honest as I possibly can. And that is what I'm going to do when I sit down and give that testimony inside of the United States Capitol later this morning.